So, concepts of coordinate geometry. Okay, we have already done it, the basics of coordinate geometry in class 9. Okay, but here we'll be covering many more points here. Okay, like review of the concept means all that you have studied till now in class 9. First, we will be reviewing those all concepts of coordinate geometry, means how to plot a points, what is x-axis, what is axis r, what is Cartesian plane, what is ordinate. All these things we will be covering, and then we will move to distance formula. Okay, how to find out the distance between the two lines. Okay, section formula and area of a triangle. Okay, understood? Now, and these all topics only become very vast in your class 11th and 12th in your coordinate geometry, vector, and all. You'll have a coordinate. That is also a big topic for your IIT. Okay. Now, first a quick revision of all the topics that we have already covered. Okay. So we know that what is a Cartesian plane? First of all, what is a coordinate geometry? What do we mean by coordinate geometry? Okay. It is a branch of mathematics which deal with the position of an object. Okay. That where the object is lying, and that also not in a space, in a plane. Plane means a two-dimensional. Okay. We're only two-dimensional there. Okay.
And
so
when z-axis is there, then what it is known as still considered is not a Cartesian plane. If z-axis is there, then
yeah, but it will be a 3D. Okay. So it will be a
length, breadth, height.
Length, breadth, height. You can see, yeah, three-dimensional object will be there. Okay. So length, breadth, height, all the things will be there. Okay. In means one point it will be in XY, one point in YZ axis. Okay. So all these the topics I told you, area of triangle and all distance between 2 points, that all will get expanded in 3 dimension when you go in 11 to 12. Okay. So all will go in 3 dimension. Okay. There you will have a Z axis. You have to represent it like this. This is your x-axis, y-axis, then z-axis we represent like this. Okay, because we have 2D. We have to represent that 3D in 2D only. So this is a way to represent that. Okay, this is your x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. Okay. Position of an object in a plane, that is called your Cartesian geometry. Okay, coordinate geometry. Sorry. Okay. Now, how can we describe the position of an object in a plane? By using x and y axis. Okay, two mutually perpendicular lines. With the help of two mutually perpendicular lines, and the name of this two mutually perpendicular line is x-axis and y-axis. And the full x-axis you can represent as x o x dash. Okay, this I will erase. This will be a confusion. This is x o, and this is not o. This is o actually, but this o represents origin. By y dash. Okay, this represent x-axis. This whole line represent x-axis. This whole line represent y-axis, and they are mutually perpendicular to each other. Okay, so these two lines, which are mutually perpendicular to each other, help us to tell the position of an object in a plane. Okay, where the object is. Okay, the exact position. Okay, exact position of a point. If I draw a point here, what will be the exact position of that point? I can tell by looking at the points. Okay, now how will be checking what will be the exact position of the point? We'll see here. Okay, now the Cartesian, just a quick definitions. Okay, Cartesian system are two mutually x and y dash. I've already told you. Okay, the horizontal line is x o x dash, which is called x-axis, and the vertical line is y o y dash, which is called y-axis. Okay, now ox, if you see here. Hello, Rudron here. Okay, just quickly, we have just started only the coordinate geometry. Okay, now a quick revision what I have just told right now. So what is coordinate geometry? Coordinate geometry is a branch of mathematics which help us to tell the position of an object in a 2 dimension. Okay, that is in a plane. That in a plane where the object is lying, the exact position of the object. Okay, now how can we tell the exact position? With the help of two mutually perpendicular lines. And what are these mutually perpendicular lines? These are two mutually perpendicular lines represented by x o x dash, where o is the origin. Okay, the center. Okay, and the center is 2, 0, the value. Okay, and the vertical perpendicular line is y o y dash, which is called as y-axis, and x o x dash is called as x-axis. Now here you can see you can see four lines. If you see this point, so it can divide the line in 4 different points. What are the 4 lines? You can see here. It is x o, which is positive. Okay, and x dash o, which is negative. Okay, this is the negative part. Okay, whenever we draw a point on a number line, we mark an origin. Okay, and on the right side of the origin is the positive points. Okay, and on the left side of the origin is the negative points. Okay, so similar to that, you can say x dash o is the negative. Okay, and y o is positive. Okay, and y dash o is the negative part. Okay. So accordingly, we'll see. Okay. Now, the angle between the horizontal and the vertical line, you already know they are mutually perpendicular lines, so they will be 90 degree. Okay, the angle between them will be 90 degree. And any line perpendicular to x-axis is parallel to y-axis. Okay, any line which is perpendicular to x-axis. If I'm drawing a line which is perpendicular to, and this line is perpendicular to x-axis, so this line will be parallel to y-axis. Okay, and any line which is perpendicular to y-axis, it will be parallel to x-axis. Just a minute. Okay, so understood these points, some basic points. Okay, about the Cartesian system. And what is a Cartesian system? System used
Yes,
to
ma'am.
detect the position of a point in a plane is called a Cartesian system. Okay, in 1 marks, it may ask you a definition. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
now quadrant. Okay, generally it will ask you a simple question. Okay, but sometime it may ask you some 2-3 definitions also in 1 marks. Okay, there are 2 definitions which are carrying half marks. Okay, so don't take mathematics as granted that
Ma'am.
never you'll not be asked about definitions. Yeah.
Ma'am, this coordinate system is also in 9th also.
Yeah, in fact, this part that I am teaching, it's a revision of your class 9. See, the topic is also a review or concept of coordinate geometry. Okay, the first topic will be just a revision of all the things that you have studied in class 9. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
now you can see here there are 4 coordinates. Okay, when we are drawing the points, okay, since they're intersecting at a point, okay, so we can see that we have got 4 quadrants. Okay, 4 different parts. Okay, it is divided into 4 sections. You can say 4 sections. This is your first quadrant. Okay, now we'll be moving cyclically. This is your second quadrant. Okay, this is your third quadrant, and this is your fourth quadrant. Okay, about sign convection we will study. Okay, but from here also you can see the sign convection. See this x-axis. Okay, whenever you plot a point, in which way you plot a point? Okay, it is a what you say ordered pair. The pairing of
Ordinate and abscissa that
Yes.
we use.
abscissa is y-axis and ordinate is
Axis.
abscissa. X-axis is abscissa and this is ordinate. And this whole thing is called ordered pair.
Coordinate. This one that are coordinate and ordered.
Okay, coordinate also you can say coordinate. Coordinate. Okay. You always represent a point on a plane with an ordered pair or with its coordinate. Okay, and what are its coordinate? It is a pair of x and y values. Okay, and in this ordered pair, we call it ordered pair because there is a fixed order. Okay, in which you are going to write always the x is going to first. Okay, we never mention that x is written first or y is written. Always the point is written. Okay. If I write any point, you always know that the first point represents the x-axis, okay, and the second point is going to represent the y-axis. Accordingly, you plot the point, okay. So this is about the point, okay. So whenever we are going to plot the points, okay. So first is your x-axis, okay. So here in the first quadrant, x-axis, 0x is positive, okay. So what it will be? Positive, and 0y is also positive, so positive, okay. Now if you come in second quadrant, we've got the x-axis first, obviously, but here OX dash is negative, okay? And then we plot the y-axis, so y is positive, okay? If you go in third, both are negative. OX dash is also negative and OY dash is also negative, okay? So both are negative, okay? And then in fourth quadrant, your y is negative and x is positive, okay? Positive, negative. Understood? Okay. So you are having 4 coordinates. What are the 4 coordinates? First is your XOY. 4 quadrants. First will be your XOY. Second will be your X dash OY. Third will be your X dash OY dash. And fourth will be your XOY dash. Okay. And we have seen the sign also. Positive, negative, and negative, and here positive, negative. Okay. Any doubt in this about the quadrants? And we always move anti-clockwise. Okay. We always move anti-clockwise direction from OX. Okay. Now, coordinates of a point in a Cartesian plane. Okay. That I told you. Okay. Coordinates. To locate a point in a Cartesian plane, its perpendicular distance from x and y axis are required. Okay. What is the perpendicular distance of that point from x axis and y axis? We see that. Okay. Just a minute. Better. Now, if I'm going to represent like this, no. Now, if I'm talking about this point P, okay, this is the point P, okay, nothing else I'm going to write. Okay, now to locate a point in the Cartesian plane, it's perpendicular distance from x and y axis. Okay, perpendicular distance. So what will be the perpendicular distance from x axis? Okay, you have to see the perpendicular distance from x axis and the perpendicular distance from the y axis. Okay, and these distances are called the coordinates of the point. Okay, now I have already told you every point has two values. They are called ordered pair, and this value is already this value is only called coordinates. Okay, we called it coordinates of a point. Okay, now we'll see the x coordinate. So x coordinate is what? X coordinate of a point is its perpendicular distance from the y axis. So this is your perpendicular distance. This is your perpendicular distance from your y axis. Okay, which is equal to this, much. Okay, so this tell you the point on x axis. Okay, x axis means की value क्या होगी. Okay, so x axis is what? X coordinate is what? It is a perpendicular distance from the y axis measured along the x axis. Okay, along the positive direction of x axis when you are plotting the points in your first one accordingly. Okay, and when you are in your this section, so negative axis. Okay, now similarly y axis is what? It is a perpendicular distance. It is a perpendicular distance from the x axis measured along the y axis. So this is your y coordinate. Understood this point? Satya, Rudronil, Shazan.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this is about your points, coordinates. Okay, how do we measure the x coordinate and y coordinate? Okay, now let's see. P, B, any point I've explained you. Okay, so this is your coordinate, and this I will represent this. Okay, so in fact you can see it in a figure only. So okay, I have a figure here. So this is your perpendicular distance from x-axis. This is your perpendicular distance from the y-axis. Okay, just go through the diagram. Okay, very important. I think you have been plotting points, so you'll not face much problem, but you should know this. Okay. Now, important points: what? Every point on the x-axis has no perpendicular distance from the x-axis. Okay. जो point आपका x-axis पे ही होता है ना, so it is not having any perpendicular distance x-axis. That's why its ordinate is 0. Ordinate means its y-axis is 0. The point that lies on x-axis, its ordinate is 0, and the point that lies on y-axis, its abscissa is 0. Okay, and at the point that lies on origin, that is 0, 0. Now comes the sign convection. Okay, that we have studied, but before that, just quickly, one question we'll see. In the given figure, O is the intersecting point of OA. Okay, O is the intersecting point of OA and OC. Okay, and OABC is a square of side 4 units. Okay, find the position of A, B, and C. Okay, one of the coordinates is your origin. Okay, so one of the point is what? 0, 0. That is very easy here. Okay, now if you want to find the point of A, okay, what will be the value or coordinate of A? See, A lies on x-axis, so already the coordinate will be 0. Ordinate will be 0, and abscissa will be what? 4 units, because its value is 4 units. And since we are measuring from origin, so we can directly write 4. Okay. Now, if you come to B, okay, C. If you see the value of C, so again it lies on y-axis, so its abscissa will be 0, and then you will write the y. Okay, and B point C. You have to see the perpendicular distance of y measured along the x-axis. So that is 4 units, and for y also perpendicular distance of the point from x-axis measured along the y-axis. So it will be 4, 4. Okay. Any doubt in this?
No, ma'am.
Now comes the sign convection. Okay. Now, some useful rules to determine the sign convection of a point in a quadrant are given below. Now, in the first quadrant, we have already discussed. In the first quadrant, then the sign of the coordinate of a point will be of the form plus plus. Why? Because in the first coordinate, both OX is there and OY is there. So OX and OY both are positive. The x-axis is also positive and the y-axis is also positive. So we are having both positive. Okay, see this chart here. It will help you. Region is x or y. Okay, so quadrant is first, and your x value is also greater than 0 here, and y value is also greater than 0. So your sign convection of x coordinate is also positive, and sign convection of y coordinate is also positive. So coordinate of a point becomes here positive, because we write x comma y. So x is also positive, y is also positive. Okay, now the second quadrant is x dash oy. Okay, that is x is less than 0 and y is only greater than 0. So x value, the sign of the x coordinate becomes negative and the sign of y coordinate becomes positive. Okay, so minus plus. Okay, For third quadrant, x dash or y dash, x is less than 0 and y is also less than 0. So here both the coordinate sign is negative. So your coordinate, the coordinate of a point will also be negative, means minus minus. Okay. Now the fourth quadrant, which is x or y dash, where x is greater than 0 but y is less than 0. So sign of x coordinate is positive but sign of y coordinate is negative. Okay. So the coordinate of a point here is plus minus. Okay. You should remember the sign convention. Okay. Quadrants. Okay. Because when it may ask you what will be the value, what will be the sign in the first quadrant. Okay. Now let's see the question. Okay. Now here is your question. Okay. Now I want everybody to solve this question. Okay. Because it's not very tough question. It's an easy question. Okay. Okay.
What you do there?
Okay, so everybody just try to find out and tell me the points. Okay, so you are having 4 points. You can see it's P, Q, R, and S. Okay, 4 points are there, and you have to tell the abscissa. You have to write the abscissa of all the points. Okay, I think this is written here, but you have to tell the abscissa for all the points P, Q, R, and S, and ordinates also of all the 3 points. Okay, ordinate, and this all you have to write for all the points. Okay, and then coordinate in which these points lie. Okay, so we'll start with P. Okay, I will ask from everybody, just write down, okay, for all the points, okay, from P, Q, R, S, okay. So from R, we have Rudronial, so I'll ask for the R point from Rudronial, Safia, S, and Shazan, I will ask from P or Q anyway, okay, one I will tell. Shazan is left also. So for P, I'm telling, okay, abscissa. Abscissa means x-axis. So x is equal to what? 2, okay, and what is their ordinate? First one. Second, y-axis is equal to 3. Okay. And third is what? Coordinates. That is 2, 3. And then fourth is what? Quadrant in which these points lie. This is your first quadrant. Okay. Similarly, I will be asking everybody. Done, everybody?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So let's go through. Safia, you're going to tell for S point. So S point, tell me what is the value of x? That is abscissa. What is the value of abscissa? 5. Yes. And what is the value of ordinate? -1. Very good. Now, what is the coordinate pair? 5, -1. And then what is your quadrant? 4. Very good. Okay. Now, Rudronial, tell me for R point, your abscissa. Rudronial? Yes, Rudronial, for R point?
-5, -3.
-5. -5 is what? Your abscissa? -5 and y is -3 and your coordinate is -5, -3 and your quadrant, which quadrant? That quadrant. Okay. Similarly for point Q, okay, Q x value is 2, y value is 4, 2, -2 will be there, okay, and your coordinate will be -2, 4 and your second quadrant. Okay. Write the coordinate of the vertices of a rectangle whose length and breadth. Now solve this question. Write the coordinate of the vertices of a rectangle whose length and breadth are 6 and 4 units, okay, respectively. Its one vertex is at the origin, okay. The longer side is on the x-axis and one of the vertices lies in the second quadrant, okay. So first of all, what we are going to do, we are going to draw the, okay, whose length and breadth are 6 and 4, okay. So length and breadth are 6 and 4. If one vertex is at the origin, so one of its vertex is at origin, I'll use different point. Okay, the longer side is on x-axis and one of the vertices lie in second quadrant. Okay, so one of the vertex is lying in the second quadrant. Maybe we can assume it here. Okay, and since the longest side is on y-axis. Okay, so this is your 6 units. Okay, and this will be your 4 unit. This will be your rectangle. Okay, now one of the vertices lie in the second quadrant. Okay, fine. So what we have to tell? Coordinate of the vertices of the rectangle. Okay, so if I mark it A, B, this is O and C. Okay, so your rectangle is A, B, O, C. Okay, now if I'll say of A point, so A point what will be? It will be 6 minus 6, 4. Okay, B point will be is on y-axis. So here this will be 0 and it will be 4 unit. O point. So O point will be origin, so it will be 0, 0. And C point will be on your x-axis, so it will be -6, 0. Okay. Understood? Any doubt here? So here we complete the first topic, that is just a revision, a quick revision of all your that you have studied about the coordinate geometry in your class 9. Okay, about what is coordinate Cartesian plane, sorry, what is abscissa, what is ordinate, what is coordinate, what is ordered pair, what are the four quadrant, what are the sign convection of a quadrant, okay, what is x-axis, y-axis, everything, okay. Okay, now we'll be starting with distance formula. Okay, but I'm going to, it's already 40, so I will start with the distance formula from the next class. But okay, I will upload the handouts in your app, okay, and in the student location also. Okay, so just go through the distance formula once before the next upcoming class. Okay, just go through it, that will help you. Okay, and on the Tuesday you will be having your test on quadratic equation. Okay, I think linear equation is already done. Yes, linear equation I have already taken test, so QEQ is remaining. Okay, so I will take off quadratic equation on Tuesday. Okay, it will be announced. Fine. So prepare for your test, quadratic equation. Okay, and Safia, do you having doubts in your word problems? We can have on Sunday. Okay, so we can have one more session for word problem. There we can discuss in more detail. Okay, to solve word problem. Okay, and you need to practice the word problem also. Okay, and we'll just discuss quickly that we can solve or how to solve, what are the different key points that we can follow when we're solving the word problem. Okay, because word problem sometimes it gives a little tricky, it becomes tricky. Okay, so I'm ending the session now only. Okay, any doubt in today's session or the sessions that were on quadratic equations? Do you have any doubts apart from word problem? I do understand, but after when you have made the equation, then do you face the problem? Okay, so just go through the questions, okay, and try to prepare for the test. And on Sunday or on Sunday I can have a session for word problems. Okay, only for word problems we'll discuss. Okay.
Today's Sunday.
Yes, Safia.
Today's Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday means I mean to say the next Sunday. Okay, today's Sunday, no, but for the next Sunday. Okay. Okay. Bye bye everybody. Just go through the topic and before that prepare for the test of the question. Yes.
Is it possible to have a doubt clearing session before the test?
Okay, so you want a doubt clearing session on that. Okay, then what we can do, we can on Tuesday we can have a doubt clearing session on your quadratic equation. Okay, and after that on Thursday we can have the test. Okay, is that okay?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. So you have problems in your assignments, Safia?
Yeah, some of them are a little long.
Okay, fine. So we will have on Tuesday we will discuss about the word problems from assignment. Okay, we will just quickly review the assignment papers. Okay, and they will check the questions. Okay, fine. Okay, bye bye.